Hello children, good morning. Welcome for today's biology class. Today we are going to study the chapter Heredity and Evolution. The topics we are going to cover are accumulation of variations during reproduction, rules for inheritance of characters and monohybrid cross. Now let us go inside the topic. First is heredity. So heredity means that is transfer of characters or traits from parents to their offsprings. Okay, so you are looking like your parents, grandparents. How is it? Because the characters are transmitted from them. Your grandparents transmitted the character to parents, and you got your traits from your parents. So how is it happening? That is through genes, because the genes, it is located in chromosomes and it is so through them it is being inherited from one generation to another generations. But here there are some variations are there. All are not looking alike. So everywhere there is difference, physiological differences, everywhere it is there. So that variations you call that as, so that is important for the survival of the species. Okay, if variations are not there, the survival of the organism will become difficult. Here the organisms showing better variations are being selected. Here you see here different type of pictures they have given here. So by observing the picture, everywhere you starting from human being to vegetable, fruits. So wherever leaves, even animals, insects, birds, wherever you go for, variations are there. So variations are helpful to make the particular species to survive. So these variations are being accumulated during reproduction, but the variations it has to occur in DNA, then only it can be accumulated. Okay, so when organisms reproduce, offsprings they show minor variations due to inaccuracies in DNA copying. It can be favorable or unfavorable, whatever it is there. So if it has to be inherited, it will be inherited from one generation to another generation. Actually, the variations are less in asexual reproduction and more in sexual reproduction. Among the variations, some may be useful variation, some may be harmful variation. So useful variations will be selected by the nature and harmful variations will be deleted. Harmful or useless variations will be deleted. So when you observe, the organisms know the camouflage along with the environment. You can see the polar bear here. So insects sitting in between the leaves and field you can see, and the other one here also insects are there. So all they are showing variation. So they are showing camouflaging. So why do they camouflage with the surrounding? To escape from the predators. Then only the predators actually they could not find them and they can escape and they can survive better. So that you call that a survival of the fittest in natural selection. So here now let us see the rules for inheritance of characters. The characters already I told you it is transferred through genes. Okay, so they are only DNA molecules. The DNA molecules are located in the chromosomes. The chromosomes, where are they present? They are present inside the nucleus of the cell. Okay, so here how do you get your character? From your mother and father. So mother and father they contribute 50%, 50%, that is the equal amount of genetic material to the child. Okay, so here in the genes, now when you observe the two factors are there, means one factor you get from your father and the other you get from the mother. Okay, these two together they combine and they decide the character what to be expressed according to the dominant and recessive that we will study later. So Gregor Johann Mendel, we call him as father of genetics. He conducted a series of experiments with the garden pea and pea plant and he determined the rules for the inheritance of traits. So here this is the DNA molecule, no? You see here, no, how it is the double helical structure being coiled and it is condensed to form chromatid, and this chromatid it is kept inside the nucleus. Actually the condensed form of chromosome we call that as chromatid. It is there inside the nucleus. Now let us go to the Griger-Jogen-Mendel's monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross means when plants having one pair of character. So when the plants, they have many characters, but here we are selecting one pair of character and we are studying that. So when we study that type of cross, we call that as monohybrid cross. So here the tall and short pea plant was selected by Mendel. Okay, so he selected pure tall and pure short. Actually, this pea plants, no, they are pure for the character. So why do you call them pure for the character? Because the tall plant always they produce only tall, never they produce short, and the short plants they always they produce short and never they produce tall. Why is it like that? Because these plants they have a tendency to do self pollination. They never they do cross pollination. So here he artificially cross pollinated the flowers. So actually by nature they do self pollination, but here Mendel cross pollinated them. He took two plants, so one pure tall and other one pure short. When he cross pollinated in the first generation, so all the plants they were tall. So actually what he was expecting, this height will be moderate, but here all were tall. So when this all tall plants were self pollinated, they produced in the ratio of 3:1. Okay, among the 3:1, the 3 were tall, so 1 no, it was short. So when you see that genotypic ratio, now let us see the diagram Punnett square. So in the case of Punnett square, you can observe here this is tall plant and the short plant. When they were crossed, they produced all the tall plant. So here what happened to the short trait? Short trait is there inside the genes in the form of small t, but it was not expressed because the dominant character suppresses the recessive character to express. Okay, so here once again when it was self pollinated, it produced two gametes. So one with capital T, other with small t, and self pollination they produced here capital T plant, here capital T small t plant, small t small t. So how do you get this? So actually, so here when you are plotting, here you take one this gene and here you take from the other gene, then together you are getting capital T. So here capital T small t. So like that we get. Okay, so this type of square you call that as Punnett square. So in this when you observe, so measure the phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio means what is the characters visible outside. Okay, so when they were all were three among when 4 plants produced means 3 plants were tall, 1 it was short. Okay, but when the genotypic ratio when you observe, it produced 1:2:1. Okay, so here 1 fully tall, 2 capital T small t hybrid variety, and 1 small t small t. That is the thing given here. The trait the pure ratio it was capital T 1, hybrid tall 2, and the dwarf pure dwarf small t 1, and the ratio was 1:2:1. Means the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. and the phenotypic ratio 3:1. Phenotypic ratio means the ratio what is visible outside. Genotypic ratio is the ratio according to the genes present. What type of conclusion we can come? So here the trait expressed in F1 generation we call that as dominant trait, and the trait that is suppressed in F1 generation you call that as recessive trait. F1 means first filial, F2 means second filial generation. Okay, so first filial generation, that is the first generation. What is expressed you call that as dominant, and what is suppressed you call that as recessive. This type of conclusion he came. So here different type of only we considered the tall and dwarf variety. So here the other variety is also given. When the purple flower and the white flower cross, it produced purple flower, and here F1 generation because it is the dominant trait, and here you see here second filial generation when it was self fertilized, it produced 3:1 ratio. Okay, so phenotypically 3:1, and the same way, so round and wrinkled seeds of pea when it was crossed, so round, they all F1 generation all are round, means so this is dominant character. And next one, self fertilization 3:1 ratio. This is typical monohybrid ratio, children. Okay, so now let us see the few characters in human beings, that is dominant and recessive. So you can observe this one among your friends also, your family members also. So that is not tall, rollers and non-rollers. So here the tongue rolling, the dominant character, those who have capital T gene and capital T small t gene, they are able to roll. Okay, and when they have small t gene, they are not able to roll at all. You can try at home, children. And the next one is attached earlobe and free earlobe. That also, this one, no, you call that as free earlobe, because the lobe, no, you can see here it is free. Attached means it is fully attached, there won't be hanging lobe. Okay, this one attached, and this is free earlobe, it is attached earlobe. So when you observe, in the case of attached earlobe and free earlobe, so free earlobe is dominant and the attached earlobe is recessive. This also you can observe among your family members. So then you can see the inheritance, how it is, whether your mother or father is having attached or free, and you can observe among your grandparents, and you can observe among your brothers and sisters. Okay, and you can come to conclusion. So whether you are having that dominant trait or recessive trait, like that. Okay, children, so go through this, and you can conduct a small survey analysis at your home also, and for this you can ask your friends what type of character they have, then you can get a nice how that inheritance of characters you can observe correctly. Okay, children, thank you. We'll meet in the next class.